On today's ChurchTechCast.com Screencast Show, organizing your data in ProPresenter 5. The ChurchTechCast.com Screencast Show and all the ChurchTechCast.com shows are generously provided for by viewers like you. Thank you. Head on over to patreon.com/PaulAllenCliff and you can help make these shows continue to be produced just for as little as $1 a month or as much as, well, however much you want. There are plenty of support levels and plenty of opportunities for you to get prizes for helping out. So thank you. That's Patreon, patreon.com/PAULANCLIF. Also, I'm pleased to announce the publication of my 4th book, Church Video School. It's available at trinitydigitalmedia.com/CVS for Church Video School. Right now it's selling for only $14.95, and that's a limited time only. My publisher is going to raise the price to $19.95 at the end of August. So go ahead and get your copy today before the price goes up. Well, welcome again to another episode of the ChurchTechCast.com Screencast Show. And as you know, I'm very excited about the publication of my 4th book. You might already know about my other books. My first book is Podcasting Church, which is available on Amazon, amzn.to/podcastchurch. My second book, Tweeting Church, also available on Amazon, amzn.to/tweetchurch. My third book is AM, as in Mary, Z, N, as in Nancy.to/the Serve Church. And that's the Serving Church. I just don't have any paperback copies with it. But today, I have my 4th book, which is Church Video School, and I'm really excited about that. But that's not what this show is about. This show is about ProPresenter, and ProPresenter is just such a great piece of software. And one thing that changed between ProPresenter 3 and ProPresenter 4, although now we're on ProPresenter 5, is how everything was organized. It used to be that lyrics especially were located in a database, and it was kind of hard to get to and difficult to play with. Well, that all changed in ProPresenter 4. But ProPresenter 5 is where this really came into its own. So first, let's head on over to the screen that has ProPresenter on it, and we'll take a look at some things that you really need to know. So here we are over on my ProPresenter screen. Let me highlight that here. So as always, you can't see all of the screen because I'm not streaming full resolution because my internet isn't great here. Hoping to fix that, also hoping to update my MacBook Pro so that I get a faster machine that can handle this, but right now we got what we got. So anyway, here we are in ProPresenter, and if you need to play with where any of the videos and such are located down here in the video image bin, which is right below the bottom of the screen, or if you need to play with any of these songs here located in the library, or below that we even have the playlist where we can find the playlists, and let's say that we've organized those chronologically, we could get rid of a bunch of playlists and do some things like that. So let's just take a look at where all those are located. First off, you need to know that it depends. It depends on a couple of things as to where they're located. I'm going to show you the default locations, but I'm also going to show you how to change those. So we go up here to the ProPresenter 5 menu. Remember, I'm on a Mac. ProPresenter for PC might be a little bit different, and I'm going to go to Preferences. I can also type Command, comma, if I just wanted to go there directly. And in the General screen here, we have all kinds of fun information here. Basically, the only thing below the line here is the copyright information and how you display that, so we really don't need to worry about that for today's lesson. Let's instead start up here where it says General Settings, and it says Library Folder. Now, the library folder is where all the songs in the library are located, all the songs, all the sermon notes, etc. So that is where it says default, and I can go to Manage Library, and that's going to pop this up, and I can either add an additional library, so I just click the little plus button. This might be particularly helpful if let's say you're using the same computer for the youth, for the children, and for your main service. You could have separate libraries, and that might be particularly helpful in that you could, the kids, maybe they need really big words, and maybe the teens want kind of edgier fonts, and maybe their arrangements are all different, so you could have separate libraries for separate things. So let's go to Documents, let's go to ProPresenter 5, and we've got this library. Let's add a new folder. Let's call this the Utes. What is a Ute? So I'll do that and I'll hit Select. So now I have the default library and I have the Utes library. Now let's say that I don't want that one actually anymore. I can just delete it by selecting it and hitting the minus, which is what I just did. Okay, so I'm actually going to cancel that. You'll also see this location. The tilde, this is kind of back from Unix days because OS X is based on Unix. So we've got the tilde, which indicates, that's your main file path, your default file path, and then after that, Documents, and then ProPresenter 5. Let me show you more specifically where that is here. Bring this over here, and so that's not it. This is it. Okay, so remember over here it says tilde Documents ProPresenter 5. Well, on my machine, that is hard drive users Paul, which is my main user. You might know my name's Paul, so that's why that is. And then Documents in ProPresenter 5. So the tilde in this case, followed by the slash, is eliminating these first three parts. So that's all default. And then going directly to Documents, then ProPresenter 5. So you'll see that I have all these songs in here, including the Utes folder, which I eliminated as a path up here, but it still exists because I did in fact create it. So I'm actually gonna, while I'm thinking about it, Command delete it to move that to the trash. Okay, so I've got all these songs here, and this is actually a very small subsection of songs, and that's because I've reinstalled ProPresenter. You might remember earlier I had some difficulties that turns out were caused by some third-party software, so I had to reinstall. So this isn't all the list. This is just a few different songs. Well, let's say that we've decided really we've got way too many versions of some of these songs, and we can eliminate that So what we can do is, let's say we wanted to eliminate this confidence version. I can just hold down Command and delete and send that to the trash can. I could also drag it to the trash can. Either way would accomplish that. And now that's gone from my list. And let's say here that I don't need either of those. Now they're gone. So I can really quickly go through and organize this. I can put these into folders. I can do a lot of things to make this better. So that's what here. There's another one where it's just a copy of something else. So I could really make this quick and easy. So that's where the songs are located by default. But as I say, that's not the only place where things are located. We also have renewed vision media. Now, if you check the path down here at the bottom, I've got this turned on my Mac, which I find very helpful. Starting with the Macintosh hard drive, then going to users, then going to shared, then renewed vision media. You might be thinking, wait, why is it the lyrics are in users Paul documents, etc., and this is in users shared renewed vision media? Because I've marked that this stuff needs to be shared across all users, whereas this stuff is specific to just me as a user. So again, this makes perfect sense if you're going to have several users. Let's say you've got a youth user, you've got a children's user, you've got your main room user, and each one would have their own library. But you want everyone to be able to access all of the audio clips, all the images, all the PDFs, which I haven't shown you how to use yet, but imagine that you want PDFs to show up of the songs for the musicians. That's where those would be, and then all the videos. So that's where all these are located. In fact, let me show you. If I double click on videos here, we have the default video sample, which is showing up. And if I didn't want that anymore, or let's say I had some video clips or something like that that were 1 week only, I could just go through pretty quickly and easily and do a command delete on those. I'm going to go back, and same thing for images. So I've got the sample images in here, and you'll notice I've got a duplicate, so I'm just going to, again, command delete, and that goes away. So one thing I can also do is I can change this. So let me drag that over, and I'm going to pop out of that and go here. You'll notice application data. I've got the data, I'll show you that here in just a second, set on this version of ProPresenter for only this user. But media repository, I've got that set to all users, and instead I could set it to only this user, or I could make a custom path, whatever makes perfect sense to me. Manage media automatically right here. If I click this, wherever the media is when I import it into ProPresenter, it's going to copy it over into that central media directory. And we'll see that we have the search paths for these things down here. So that's kind of the difference between having it available for all users, which if there's only one user on a computer, all users or just this user, doesn't really matter. It doesn't. But if you're sharing a computer, this will really matter to you, because it could be that the teens see a background that you used on Sunday morning and they want to use that on Sunday night. Well, right now they've got a problem, because well, they would have a problem if the media repository was set to only this user, because they log in under their user, they can't find it, because that's just part of the structure and part of the security of the Unix type operating system, which OS X is based on FreeBSD, which is a Unix variant. So that explains that. So let's talk about application data real quick. Application data is all the other stuff. So let me drag this over here just again, and I will show you the application data. That's all of this. So let's just go through this real quick. This is the audio playlist. This is my CCLI template. This is downloads that come from the store. DVD when I've ripped DVDs and shown it. So by default, it's located in hard drive, users, your particular username, library, application support, renewed vision, ProPresenter 5, DVD. Then we've got masks are located in mask.pro. Media is media right here. That tells you something about the media. You shouldn't have to edit any of these here, but if you're having problems with any of them, this is where they're located, by the way. So here are our playlists. So right now I've only got the default one, but if I had, let's say, what I normally do is I normally name those by date, last two of the year first, then the 2-digit month and the 2-digit date. So I could go and say, oh, well, I don't need any of the stuff from 2011, so I could just scroll down to 110101. I don't know if that's a Sunday or a Saturday, or I'm just making that up. But let's say it was 110101. I could scroll down in my list to that, click on it, then hold down Shift and scroll down even further to everything before that, and just delete it all at once. So that would really keep it nice and clean. Poster frames, you can see that we have this frame in here, and that is basically the thumbnail for this for the media, and then it has the P list for that. Props, remember props are like bugs or logos that go over everything, so that list is located here. The layout for the stage display, you could actually get in here and edit the XML. So that's kind of a higher end thing. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but you can do it. We've got images for templates right here. So let's see here. Here's the Bible 1024. See that? Very snazzy. Oh man, that's probably 3rd century or later, because the original New Testament was written in all caps, and those are what we call minuscules. Sorry, my seminary education cost me a lot. I have to use it from time to time. So, and I've got this. So this can actually provide you some good ideas of things to do, even if you don't use those. So I might actually get some ideas from that. So that's in template images. Then we've got the templates themselves down here. And those are the default ones. And then thumbnails. So you can see how this could get ungainly pretty quickly. This is the thumbnails for all those template images. So those are generated automatically. So if you're using a lot of template images, and let's say you're using one per series, and again you have the 2011 one and you've got them archived somewhere else, and you find that you're running low on disk space, it might be worth going through and getting rid of the old stuff here, and then getting rid of the thumbnails that go with that as well. So that's a little bit about the organization of the stuff here in ProPresenter 5. As I say, you can rearrange it. If you need to find these two, for example, really quickly, you don't have to actually type all this out. You see this little glass right here? A little looking, well, it's not a looking glass, it's a search. I click that, and over here on my secondary monitor, it popped up. So that's a much faster way to do it. I just went ahead and did all that for you ahead of time so that it's easier to find. So that's what I would recommend. By the way, this is also where you can change the default logo, so I could reveal and Finder is my friend. So that shows me where that is, and if I wanted to change it to one of these others, I absolutely could. So I hope that that helps you, and I hope that you can use this information with your church as you're going out and changing eternity. Don't forget to share this show. If this show is helpful to you, share it with the other media people at your church. If you run into other people at other churches, say, hey, you can absolutely find all these free ProPresenter tutorials on YouTube. And there is a short link that I've made that's bit.ly/pro5tuts, T-U-T-S, that should take you there, bit.ly/pro5tuts. I think that's all lowercase. If it's not, the P in pro is capitalized and the T in toots is capitalized, the first T. But I think it's all lowercase. So you can get there. Feel free to subscribe to this on YouTube. That would be very helpful. The more people that subscribe, the more I rise in the rankings, and that helps get the word out about this. You can also subscribe to these screencasts on iTunes. So head on over to trinitydigitalmedia.com/subscribe, and as well as checking out other shows. And if you like this and you've subscribed on YouTube, on iTunes, you can also leave a review. Just a sentence is really all I need, and 4 or 5 stars, that would be great. Oh, and I always forget to mention that I have just the generic RSS feed, so if you're using something other than iTunes, no harm, no foul. I've got that on the subscribe page as well. So make sure that you go ahead and share this information, and I'll see you next time. Until then, this is Paul Allen Clifford with TrinityDigitalMedia.com.